Is my 2020 Tacoma TRD Off Road Voodoo Blue a unicorn? You know, recently I got a comment on one of the videos, and somebody had mentioned that I have a unicorn. And I got to thinking about that. What does that really mean? And did I order and build a unicorn? Well, let's take a look at it first. It's sitting right back here. And first off, and you can't miss this, right? I mean, it's Voodoo Blue. Now, from what I've seen out there, there aren't a lot of Voodoo Blue trucks. Voodoo Blue Tacomas, anyway. Toyota just doesn't seem to build as many, or maybe people aren't ordering them, or maybe it's just because you have to order it to get the Voodoo Blue. And you can only get it with certain packages. You can't just throw Voodoo Blue on anything. So it is rather unique as far as the color goes, and I gotta say, to this day, I still am very happy that I decided to go with Voodoo Blue. It is awesome. Next up, we got to take a look at the interior. It has leather seats. Now, I could have gone with cloth, and I thought about going with cloth, but I didn't because of the package, you know, that I had to get to order this truck. In other words, to get the other options and things that I wanted, leather was just included. But that makes it unique as well. We've got leather, of course, in the front and in the back, and they are really nice. And in hindsight, I'm glad that I didn't decide to go with cloth because the leather is awesome, but it is unique to the truck. I know when I first ordered this truck, along with all the other options that we're going to get to here in a second that came with it, the dealership told me that they hadn't seen a truck like this, optioned out like this before. It was the first time they'd ever seen one with all of this stuff on it. So I guess that made it unique for them as well. Okay, next up are the lights. I also opted for the LED lights. You didn't have to get LED lights. And of course, the truck has LED lights in the front, the headlights, the little surround thing, all of that good stuff is LED. Now, I did add an LED light bar, but that's not part of what we're talking about here. What I'm talking about are the things that came ordered on the truck, not necessarily the aftermarket things that I've added to it. So, LED lights also is something that is unusual with this particular package. Now, going back to the inside, I also opted out a sunroof. That was something else that they told me that apparently a lot of the people that order anyway don't opt for the sunroof. So that makes the truck unique, I guess, as well. All right, next up in the uniqueness of this particular truck, I guess, are the color matched bumpers. Now, you can see here, of course, in the front, we have the Voodoo Blue color matched bumper up here. Obviously, all of this is Voodoo Blue. And then around here to the back, we have Voodoo Blue as well. Now, this is rather unique because typically the off-roads come with chrome bumpers. And wouldn't that have been a travesty? You know, it's one thing I worried about because, to be honest, when I spec'd the truck out, it did show up with chrome bumpers, and I thought I was going to have to get some kind of an aftermarket cover, which I didn't really have a big problem with, but some sort of an aftermarket cover to get rid of the chrome on the rear. And I was pleasantly surprised when the truck showed up and it actually had color matched rear bumpers. Again, on and off road. Typically, these are not color matched, they're chrome. Now, while we're back here on the rear end, it also has an auto-locking tailgate. Now, that is something that you have to add, but I didn't add this as an aftermarket option, I guess, or something anyway that I installed. It was something that I added when I spec'd out the truck, and I guess typically, according to the dealership anyway, a lot of people don't either think about it or add the auto-locking feature on the trunk, or the tailgate. Another unique feature back here are the LED bed lights. You know, a lot of people will do these on an aftermarket basis, and they're not very difficult to do from what I've heard. I added them because they weren't a ton of money anyway, so I thought, well, instead of screwing with the wiring and stuff, I'll just go ahead and add those in. That is another item that makes this truck unique. Okay, there is one final thing about this truck that truly does make it a unicorn. It's on the inside. Let's take a look. You'll notice it's sitting right there, and that is the manual transmission. The dealership, frankly, was shocked when I ordered a manual transmission. They told me that they don't even get any manual transmissions in unless somebody special orders the truck. So the manual transmission that I spec'd out does indeed make this truck a unicorn. Now, there's a couple reasons I wanted it. One, I love to drive the manual transmission. I learned how to drive on a manual transmission, and I miss not having one around. Two, I thought it would be rather unique, and it would be a different experience for the channel, you know. Now that I can get out and drive again, should be fun to play with. And then third, kind of in the back of my mind, but really didn't make a big difference, and that's security. You know, if nobody knows how to drive, or very few people anyway, know how to drive a manual transmission these days, who's gonna steal it? You know, there's a commercial that was playing on TV for a while about a couple of guys pulling up in a car, and it was a manual transmission, and the two get out, and the one guy says, "Aren't you gonna lock it?" And the other guy says, "Why? It's a manual." And that really holds true. I also heard a story a while back about an attempted carjacking where somebody was going to steal some lady's car or something, and once they discovered that it was a manual transmission and couldn't drive it, they just moved on. So there is some merit in that, and that your car is probably, or truck in this case, more secure if you get a manual transmission, assuming you know how to drive one, because people that are going to try to steal them, chances are they won't know how to drive them. So, I guess after looking at all these options, you know, did I build a 2020 Voodoo Blue TRD Off Road unicorn? And the answer is yes, I did. This truck is unique, and with all of the packages and features added to it, nobody else has one like it. I haven't run into anybody else that has a truck that is identical. And I'm talking about identical. I mean, you can pick and choose options, obviously. I mean, you could have an automatic that has a rear locking tailgate and maybe the 360-degree camera, something like that, which, by the way, is another feature that makes this truck unique. The 360-degree camera system. That's also something that I wanted to try out on this truck, and I guess a lot of people don't opt for it, even though it's out there and it's really kind of cool. Anyway, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Did I indeed order a 2020 Voodoo Blue TRD Off Road manual unicorn? What do you think? Let me know. Also, real quick, if you haven't and you're interested, check out my other channel. It is RobMotion, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator, sitting back there. And don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.